Namaste, and welcome to this Asana Video Manual. My name is McGraw.
And my name is Bob Smith.
And we are thrilled to bring to you this particular video series that's based on our Asana Photo Manual. Enjoy.
Namaste. This is standing postures. We will begin with Tadasana, standing mountain. Begin with your feet spread just a tiny bit apart. Open your hip joints slightly, subtle opening of the knees, and then rock forward. Rock your weight forward towards the toes, and then rock the weight back onto the heels of the feet. Rock forward, and rock back. Now find center in between the heels of the feet and the toes. Distribute the weight. Feel how that is. And then test it from side to side. Shift to the right a little bit. See the weight, how it goes on the right foot. And then shift to the left. Once more, shift right. And shift left. Now find center between, weight on both feet equally, weight distributed all through the whole foot. From here, bring your hands together in Namaste position. This is the standing mountain, Tadasana. From here, we're going to the new moon salutation.
So standing in your Tadasana posture with your hands together at the level of the heart, inhale and lengthen and lift your arms up overhead. With the elbows wrapping in, slide the shoulders down the back. The head and eye gaze is upward, lifting the heart out of the hips and still feeling that solid grounding through both legs as Bob helped us find in Tadasana. One more breath here. Now as you release, come back to neutral with your arms overhead. And from this space, take your two hands over to the right. Head and eyes can turn and look to the left, allowing the shoulders to slide down the back. And breathing as you're reaching through, head and eye gaze to the left, helping to open through this whole left side of the crescent position, one of the many Ardha Chandrasanas. One more breath. As you release, come back through center and give yourself just a little bit of wiggle room. You can bend your knees and shift your ribs off the hips in one direction, and then reverse it and allow yourself to wiggle it out a little bit on that second side as well. From here, bring your way back to steadiness, and as you do, to your second side, two hands reach up and over to the left as the head and eyes turn and look to the right, allowing those shoulders to slide down the back. And breathing as you're reaching it through, opening through that whole right side of your crescent or Ardha Chandrasana. One more breath. As you release, come back through center. And again, soften the knees, shifting the ribs off the hips in one direction, and then back into the other direction. And then bring your way back into stillness in your standing mountain. From here, as you're able to hinge the hips folding forward. Bend the knees as much as you need to so that spinal length can be maintained. Breathing as you're reaching through in your forward bend of Uttanasana. Maintaining neutral spine allows us to still find that free and deep breath. And as such, one more breath here. Now as you release from the posture, come on back up to standing neutral and 3 grounding breaths. Inhale, expand the arms to the side body. And exhale, collect your energy, bring it back where you need it again. 2 more times like this. Inhale to expand and open, and exhale, reground. And 1 more time, inhale. And exhaling.
Next, we're going to move to the horse pose. Spread your feet about a leg distance apart. Turn the feet out approximately 45 degrees. Bend into the knees. Spine neutral, vertical. As you're here, start to bring the hands down on the inhale. Then bring the arms up. And exhale and spread your arms out sideways. Meanwhile, the work's going on in the legs. Inhale, draw the hands together and up. Exhale, spread the energy out. So the movement of the arms speaks of energy movement. Hands down as one. Inhale up, draw the energy up midline from the floor. Exhale, spread it out through the whole body. Another 3 times. Inhale, the hands come up, bringing the energy from center, and then exhale, spread the energy out. Twice more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, spread out through. Obviously the quadricep muscles are working. Inhale one more time. Draw energy up. Exhale, spread out. And then from here we're going to go to low horse. Push off the knees with your forearms or the hands. Start to hinge forward. The back is flat. You can see with key. Total lengthening of the spine parallel to the floor. Each exhale, you're pushing out with your inner thighs, your elbows against the inner thighs. It's an inner thigh stretch. On the inhale, neutral. Exhale, push out. And a couple more. Inhale. Exhale, open the inner thighs. Keep the chin in slightly. Keep the breath long and slow. One more time. Inhale. This is low horse. Exhale, push out with your elbows. Open. And then slowly come up. Bring your hands on the floor, and cue will be the voice.
In your forward bend with your legs straight as Bob has, you're in your forward restful posture, or Prasarita Padottanasana. From here, if instead you want to work on your knees, you have a chance to experience the half variations of these positions. This is a kneeling grounding position in which my legs are a thigh distance apart between my knees, and from here I can similarly hinge at the hips and fold forward like Bob is. As we release from the posture, we'll draw our way back up and assemble triangle. Rotating open your right leg to the right. If you're on your standing right knee, simply pivot so your right foot comes to your inner left thigh. With your hands on your hips, you can shift both sides of the pelvis so that they refer to that left knee or left heel in Bob's case. And this way, as you're developing, you can keep the hands behind the back as you turn and look to the left. And the more traditional arm position would be right hand along right leg, and left arm reaches towards 90 degrees off the left shoulder. One more breath here. As we take a variation, you might reach that left arm up and overhead as Bob is. If in doing so you also straighten out through your right leg, you've constructed a similar position that's called gate, Parigasana. One more breath. As you release from here, come on back up to center. And in doing so, bending your right knee, allowing the right knee to be right on top of that right ankle. Movement into Warrior One, keeping both sides of the pelvis evenly squared forward, reaching the arms to the sides of the shoulders. Turning and looking to the right, and gradually deepening into the posture, even as you keep both sides of the pelvis evenly squared. One more breath. Shifting now into extended side angle. In doing so, using your hands on your hips, direct both sides of the pelvis towards your left knee, or in Bob's condition, to the left heel. Gradually deepening into the position with the arms behind your back, strengthening through the core as you turn and look to the left. Gradual development to the traditional arm position. Right hand can come along that inner right leg. Left arm can reach up and overhead, continuing a line of energy from the left knee all the way through to the left fingers. And one more breath here in extended side angle, in the half variation that I'm in, or the complete variation that Bob's in. As we release from here, we'll pivot on your back foot or back knee into, for Bob, it's Warrior Two. For me, my variation is a lunge. In doing so, breathing as we're reaching through, keeping the pelvis perpendicular to the ground and directing the eye gaze upward. And one more breath. releasing into the rotation of extended side angle for Bob. And for me, it's the half variation or a rotated crescent with the left elbow crossing the right thigh. Prayer position helps us to lift through the head and the chest as we turn and look right. One more breath. As you release, untwist, and straightening through your right knee, draw your left leg in a little closer. Hinging at the hips, neutral through the spine. This is Pyramid, our Parsvottanasana. Using this as a base position, we will now rotate the triangle. In doing so, the left hand can stay anywhere along the right leg. That allows you to maintain neutral spine as you turn and look to the right. Right arm can be gesturing up towards the ceiling. Or you might take those two hands behind your back into a prayer position as you rotate to the right. And one more breath here. Now when we release from the posture, come back through center and into your forward restful position. As you do so, you might take it a little bit easier, bending your knees and your elbows, shifting slightly side to side, circling through hips and shoulder sockets. And one more breath here. And as we release, Bob will take the voice.
Going to do the same to the second side. Key doing the kneeling version, and I'll do the standing version. Begin with triangle. Open your left foot. It's about a leg distance apart with the feet, possibly slightly wider. Hinge into the left hip joint. As you hinge into the left hip joint, the right hip comes just slightly forward. You want length through the underneath waistline. Left hand could land on the shin. Right arm likely vertical. In the triangle, you want movement between the pelvis shifting back towards the back foot, the lower ribs coming out, the right scapula down, the neck long. Possibly that right arm can go over the line of the right ear. And one more breath. Inhale and exhale and reach it through. Now from here, we're going to go into Warrior One. A little bit wider with your legs. You're bending into the left knee. Both hips are opening. The challenge is the right hip in particular. Rotate that right hip open. Or you're doing what Key's doing, more beginning version. Warrior One, open both hips, lower slightly, arms buoyant like in water. Inhale slowly, exhale slowly, reach it through. And one more breath. Inhale and exhale, reach through, complete the warrior number one. From here into extended side angle. Lean into that left thigh. Push off the quadricep with your forearm. Likely down with the hand, you could stay up, or you're doing Key's version. Right arm over the line of the right ear. Inhale, the whole right side of the body is lengthening, reach through it. Rotate back right. Inhale, steady with the breath in, steady with the energy in. Exhale, distribute it, spread it through. One more breath. Inhale. Greet the challenges as they come up, wherever they are. Hips, low back, shoulder, reach through, fit the neck in. And then release. From here, we're moving into Warrior number two. Inhale. Warrior two is a squared pelvis forward towards that left foot. On the exhale, you're dropping the pelvis, lifting the ribs, scapula down the back. Couple, three more breaths. Inhale, it's a deep stretch across the inner right thigh. Exhale, lower a little bit, a bit of a back bend. You're lifting the torso, settling the shoulder blades down the back, opening. And one more, inhale. Exhale, spread it through, Warrior two. From Warrior two, extended side angle, crossed over. Right elbow comes across. As you come across, keep track of that right side of the body as we turn left. Right inner thigh, push through it. Right low belly, push through it. Right scapula down the back. And then we're rotating. The left thigh pushing out against the right elbow. Right elbow holds in. What turns? The low back turns. Reach through it. Inhale. Exhale. Reach through. And one more. Inhale. And exhale. Turn with stability. And then release. From here, pyramid. Both hands down. The back leg comes in by a little bit. Or you're doing just a straight fold. Now 3 or 4 breaths in the pyramid. Inhale. Hinge the low belly up. The left low belly in particular folds up. The left knee could bend slightly. And a couple more. Inhale. Exhale. Reach through. Obviously a hamstring stretch. One more. Inhale. Your hands could be up higher. And finish the pyramid. Exhale. Reach through. From here, rotated triangle. Back out a little bit. Your right hand stays down. It could be on a block. It could be on the shin. Touch something other than air with the right fingers. And then start to rotate. As you rotate left, the left hamstring is stretched. Keep the balance of the pose, so don't turn too quickly. Hands could be interweaved behind the back for a little greater challenge. Couple more breaths. Inhale. And exhale and pull out and turn. And one more. Steady in. Inhale. And exhale. Complete the rotated triangle. Open, turning back left. And then release. And from here, restful standing forward bend.
This time through, you might take your shoulders into an extension with the hands interweaving behind the back, reaching the arms up and overhead, helping you to open through the heart, still maintaining the neutral spine. And one more breath here. Now when you release from the posture, come back through center. Bend your knees and elbows just a little bit to give yourself some easement so you can shift into hips and shoulder sockets. And then from here, as you're able, draw your way into a comfortable cross-legged position. Feel free to sit upon some additional cushions if you need to, so that you have the support that's necessary for a long and neutral spine. With it, allow yourself to come into some slow and deep Ujjayi breaths with me, doing so as we balance the breath, timing the breath with our heart rate. In this way, as you're able, exhale with me simply for 3 heartbeats. And now inhale for a count of 6 heartbeats. Exhaling for the same length of time, contracting in the abdomen as you grow upward through to the crown of the head. Now inhaling for 7 heartbeats. Exhaling, contracting in the abdomen as you continue growing upward. And one more time like this. Inhaling now for 8 heartbeats. And exhaling, contracting the abdomen to support your way in growing upward. Now allow your breath to go to its own rhythm. And as you do so, pause and notice the effects of this brief asana focus with the emphasis on the standing postures, bringing us into a greater grounding and a greater sense of our physical embodiment. And welcome you to this focus on standing one-legged balances. Initially, come into a standing chair posture, Utkatasana, hinging at the hips, knees, and ankles. In doing so, you could take your hands behind your back, lift your tailbone out. Take the eye gaze neutrally forward and breathe in as you're reaching through. Now from this standpoint, keep your knees together and the tail lifting. As you're able to shift your body weight into your right leg and lift up your left foot. Breathing as you're reaching through, gradually deepening, bending into that right knee further, lifting your tailbone out, and one more breath. When you release from the posture, come on back up to standing, and with the hands on the legs, circle out the knees, ankles, feet, and toes in one direction, and then in the other. And from here, bring your way back into stillness, and a second time through in Utkatasana. Hinging at hips, knees, and ankles, draw the tailbone out and back behind you as you gradually deepen into the right amount of work for you. In this way, as you're able, keep your knees squeezing together, shift your body weight into the left leg, and lift up your right foot. Eye gaze is neutrally forward as you breathe and reach through, gradually deepening by bending that left knee just a little bit more. And a last breath. As you release from the posture, come on back up, and again, circle your knees, ankles, feet, and toes in one direction, and then back into the other. Now from here, as we're able, we'll start to shift into a salutation to the new moon. This is a second time that we're offering this. This time through, we'll be working with one leg at a time in our crescent postures. As such, take your hands together at the level of the heart, and inhaling, lengthen and lift your arms up overhead, with the elbows wrapping in. Let the shoulders slide down the back. Lift the heart up, and the head and eye gaze is upward in this position, which is upward facing pose, or Urdhva Mukhasan. And one more breath here. And as you release from the position, come back to standing neutral with your hands together above your head. In doing so, shift the two hands to your right and shift your body weight to the left. Turn and look to the left. As you do so, gradually feeling confident about your ability to balance on just the left leg, lift up your right foot. Breathing as you're reaching through, opening through the left side of the waistline, and staying steady on that left leg. When you release from the posture, come back through center, and bending the knees just a little bit, shift the ribs off the hips in one direction, as well as in the other, going back and forth as you like it. From here, draw your way back into stillness, and to the second side of this one-legged crescent position. In doing so, allow yourself to shift so that your two hands come over to the left, and the head and eye gaze turns and looks to the right. Now shift your body weight into the right leg. And as you're able, you can start to lighten the load on your left foot to the extent that you might lift that left foot completely off the ground. And breathing as you're reaching through, opening through the right side of the waistline, standing strong through the right leg, and one more breath. When you release from the posture, come on back through center, and again, circle it out with the ribs off the hips in one direction, and also back into that second direction. Now from here, bring your way back into stillness, and hinging at the hips, fold forward in Uttanasana, forward bend. Breathing as you're reaching through, neutral through the spine. Feel free to bend the knees as much as you need to so that the spinal length can be maintained. Over time, once the ribs are on the thighs, you might be able to lift the tailbone up higher, but doing so still maintain the neutral spine. And one more breath. As you release from the position, draw your way back up to standing neutral. And in doing so, we'll begin to consider grounding with 3 breaths. Inhale, expand the arms to the side body. And exhale, collect your energy, bring it back home again. 2 more times. Inhale to expand and open. And exhale, reground and recenter. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And from here, taking it into one further one-legged position. As we begin, I want you to shift into your right leg, lifting up your left foot, cross your left ankle over the right knee. Using your hands on your hips, hinge at the hips, drawing the tailbone out and back behind you. Gradually deepening into the posture, bending your right knee more completely in this position that we like to call flamenco. In doing so, we're strengthening our ability to stand on one leg even as we open through that left outer hip and buttock. And one more breath here. When you release from the posture, come on back up to center. And again, circle knees, ankles, feet, and toes in one direction, as well as in the other. And then from here, as you're able, we'll take it to the second side of flamenco. Standing through your left leg, cross your right ankle over the left knee. Using your hands on the hips, help to direct the pelvis to stay evenly horizontal as you lift the tailbone out and back behind you, and gradually deepening. Bending into the left knee, using the hands behind the back, help you to open the heart, as well as lift the tail. And as you're able, maybe deepening a little more on that left knee. And one more breath here. As you release from the posture, come on back up through center. And again, circle out knees, ankles, feet, and toes in one direction, and then the other.
Ground it down. We're going to move into tree position next. Spread your feet a little bit. Shift one side to the next. We're going to start on the right leg. So shift right and then begin to bring your left foot up. The left foot could land on the inner calf, inner knee, or inner thigh, depending on your flexibility and where you can find the best balance. In the tree position, you're rooting down, your right foot rooting down, both hips opening, left hip in particular. Hands can go any number of positions, like keys got a binding. You can do this prayer position. Another few breaths here. Each exhale, grounding, spreading through. You're like a tree. The arms could come up like the branches and the leaves of a tree, reaching up towards the sunlight. And one more breath in the tree position. Reach through as you exhale. Now remain on the right leg. You're going to take your left foot forward. Your right hand's going to come across. As you turn back left with the torso, keep your right hip from not turning. Keep grounded through the right hip. Rotate back left. Your gaze could start to go left. The key is that the standing legs support you so you can turn. And a couple more breaths. Inhale, steady. Exhale, rotate back left. One more breath, inhale, and of course your standing leg is tired, but work it. Exhale, complete this turning tree position, and release, come out. Give that right leg a little bit of a break, move it around, move both hips around. And of course we're going to shift to the second side. Shift towards the left foot, opening that left hip slightly. Take the right foot up, again, anywhere that works for you. Wrap the outer left hip around, ground it through that standing leg, the foot like roots into the ground. Arm positions variable. You can take your hands like keys in the binding, hands together in prayer position, the namaste position. Or you can take your arms up. Each breath, you're running energy through the tree position. Inhale, steady. Exhale, spread it through. And one more breath. Inhale. Exhale, reach the energy through the legs, through the ribs, and up through the hands towards the light of the sun. And then finish tree position. Slowly take your left foot forward to the inside edge of that left knee. Your left hand's coming across. We start to turn back right. Steady with that left leg so the left hip doesn't turn. We're rotating back, grounding down. Your gaze could start to turn left. Another 3 breaths. Inhale, steady. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Turn back right. And last one. Inhale. And exhale. And finish this rotated tree position. Come out with grace. And shift around. Loosen that left leg. Any movements that feel good. Give your legs a bit of a break in a standing forward bend. And so Uttasana, fold forward, and an easement with the knees, and just let your legs revive here. A few breaths, easy with the bending of the knees. Couple more. And then finish, and we'll come up.
Building on what we've just done, we'll take similar positions with the extension of the knee. In doing so, shift your body weight into the right leg, and initially let your left leg come up to the inner right leg as you did in tree position. And continuing from there, your left hand can come to the inner left heel, or anywhere along that inner left leg. Sometimes we like to use a strap for that, as Bob will be demonstrating. From here, as you open your left leg to the left, right arm can be rather a counterbalance, opening to the side of the right shoulder, breathing as you're reaching through in this position of Parshva, Hasta, Padangusthasana, Udita Parshva, Hasta, Padangusthasana. And one more breath. And when you release from the posture, you could begin to rotate the tree as we did before with the left foot on the inner right knee and left hand along the left knee. From there, gradually developing into the right hand on the left heel, or perhaps using a strap for it, as you reach your left leg straight forward, lifting through the head and the chest as you turn and look to the left. And one more breath here. And when you release from the posture, come on back out and give yourself just a moment to refresh those legs again, circling knees, ankles, feet, and toes in one direction, as well as the other. Now taking the same progression to your second side, standing through your left leg, begin to develop your right leg up along the inner right leg, as we did in tree or vrikshasana. From here, as you're able, you'll develop the right hand along the inner right heel, and sometimes we use a strap for that, as Bob may demonstrate. Opening your right leg to the right, Udita Parshva Hasta Padangusthasana, the upward facing hand to foot posture, and as such one more breath. As you release the position, you can re-ground yourself in what is Udita Bharadvajasana, or the rotated sage pose, also called the rotated tree. Gradually developing from here, left hand along that right leg or the strap, extending your right knee forward. Adnaya gaze can gradually turn and look to the right. Breathing as you're reaching through. And one more breath here. Now as you release from the posture, we'll come on back through center. And with both feet on the ground, circle up your knees, ankles, feet, and toes in one direction, and then back into the other. And from here, as you're able, we'll start to transition into Bob leading us in the next sequence.
We're going to go to the Shiva pose, Lord Nataraj. To do this position, open your right foot, bend your left knee. Your left heel of foot's coming to the inside line of that right knee. You'll bend pretty deeply into the right knee. Pelvis remains facing same direction as the right foot. Your left hand's under, your right hand's over. You're going to turn your torso back left. So you're coming across with that right knee not turning back left. Your right knee counters that by turning slightly open right. And then on the exhale, spread your arms out. You're spreading prana, energy, ki force out, and bring it in. We'll do that 3 times. Bring the prana in, the ki force. Exhale, spread it out. And one more. Inhale, draw the prana in. And exhale and spread it out like Lord Shiva, spreading out through the universe as he's working his standing leg. And then come out of there and ease out a little bit. And then second side. Nataraj. Shiva has many aspects. This is one of his aspects. Bending into the left knee. You'll take the right heel of foot forward with a deep bend into the right knee. Your pelvis remains facing over that left foot, that direction. Right hand under. Find a ball of energy between the hands, the ki force, the prana. And then on the exhale, spread the prana out as that left leg is working down into the floor. And then bring the prana in. Ball of energy in your hands. Spread it out. And one more time. The key force, feel it in the ball of the hands, like a ball between the hands. And exhale, and that energy spreads out through the entire universe. And then bring it back in, come out, and do anything that feels like a rest for you. We're going to do Garuda pose next, but take a moment here. Garuda is taking the Lord Shiva pose a little bit further. Standing on your right leg. Bend deeply into that left leg. Standing on your right leg. Bend deeply into the right leg. Wrap your left leg around. Now it's going to, ideally, the left foot comes behind the right calf. If it doesn't, you can still do the pose. It's going to be your right elbow on top, left elbow underneath. The spine is long. Bend into that right knee. Try to spread through the whole body. Obviously there's a binding, but you're still trying to spread it out and open into the pose. One more. The balance is the challenge. Open as you're stable. Garuda. And then come out slowly. Feel the impact as you come out. It's like tying a knot and then releasing the knot. It's this energy going in and then out. Now we'll do Garuda onto the second side. Standing through the left leg, then deeply into that left leg. Wrap the right leg up and around. Ideally you get behind the calf with the right toes. Left elbows on top. Open up with your forearms, settle the back muscles. Bend deeply, your gaze is steady forward. 3 more breaths, steady in. And exhale, Rishu, Garuda. Takes Lord Ram to the edge of heaven. Couple more, inhale. Exhale. And last one, inhale. And exhale. And come out slowly. Challenging pose, feel the energy spreading through now. And key will be the voice.
Allow yourself a moment just to stabilize, circling out the knees, ankles, feet, and toes are all helpful in that way. Next, we'll take it into the classic position of Natarajasana, which is the dancer's posture. As we come into it, I'd like to develop it through the beginning stages into what's possibly a full rotation in the shoulder, and so toward this end, you might again want to keep your strap handy. And if it's not handy, you can grab it now, so it is. Shifting your body weight into your right leg, reach your left hand back to your left ankle. In doing so, draw your left heel into the buttock. Consider taking your right hand to the left ankle as well. Developing in this way, start to press your left knee back and breathing as you're reaching through, still staying vertical, otherwise completely all the way through to the crown of the head as Bob is. As this gradually develops, Bob might be working his left foot back behind him more completely, still lifting up through the head and the chest. As we consider the shoulder rotation, you could shift to use the strap around the foot. The elbow wraps in to lift up. Over time, the other hand might join to the foot, still staying vertical through the pelvis, lifting the head, lifting the chest, lifting the heart, lifting the spirits, dancing on our limitations. And one more breath. When you release from the posture, you'll come on back out of it and circle up the knees, ankles, feet, and toes in one direction, as well as in the other. Then we'll start to find our way to shift into your second side. In doing so, shift your body weight into the left, and you can reach your right hand back to your left ankle. Draw your right heel into the buttock. Add your left hand also onto the right ankle, helping to secure the right heel into the buttock, and with it, begin the process of reaching your right knee back. Lifting up through the pubic bone, lifting through the heart, and lifting the chest. Beginning style, baby dancer's posture. Staying vertical, just as Bob is indicating. And from here, as you're able, you might start to develop it more completely by reaching your right foot back behind you, using both hands to secure that way and still staying vertical with the pelvis as we lift the heart. Over time, you might transition, as Bob is, into using the strap for the full rotation. The elbow wrapping in, securing hand or strap on the foot or ankle, lifting the right elbow up. Left hand will start to grow back behind you towards the right hand and right foot. Still staying lifting through the chest, the head, and the eye gaze. And one more breath here. When you release from the posture, come on back down. And with two legs on the ground, circle out your knees, ankles, feet, and toes in one direction, and then the other. In this way, we'll start to consider movements towards Warrior 3 and the rest of the half moons.
This is the sequence of Warrior 3 into the regular half moon and the crossed over half moon. We'll begin on the right leg. So Warrior 3 comes out of Warrior 2, possibly here, or with a narrower base, which we'll show right now. Stepping onto the right leg, you're going to lean forward. As you lean forward, that right knee bends slightly. On the way out, the right hip secures. The right leg fairly straight, not locked straight. The arms can start to come forward. Challenge on the balance. Right hip back, both sides of the pelvis back, reach back through the back leg. Scapula down the back, reach through the arms. One more breath, Warrior 3. Exhale, be strong like a warrior. From here, you're going to come into half moon. Right hand's going to come down slowly. The right hip wraps open. Lightly touch with your right fingers. You could have a block to touch onto if your hamstring is tighter than ours. Start to open that left hip. Both sides of the hips open. Left arm lightly vertical. You could look forward on the ground or eventually vertical. That's tricky. One more. You're like a half moon. Reach through the half moon, opening both inner thighs. From here, come out of half moon gracefully. Both hands lightly touch for a moment, crossed over half moon. Your left hand's going to stay down, though light on the fingertips. Most of the weight's on the right foot. Torso reaches out. The pelvis and the left leg reach back. Try to sync up the reaching back and the reaching out. Turn slightly. The right hamstring is the challenge. Stabilize there. Turn a little bit. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Reach through the pose. And then come out with grace and intention. Move around a little bit. And of course, we'll do the second side. Warrior 3. Turning forward onto that left leg. Starts to hinge at the hip joint. Lean out with your torso. Your right leg lifts off. Left knee slightly bent, though it could be fairly straight. Arms out, and then at first you're just trying to find the balance. Then you're going to pulse the energy. Pulse back through the back leg and out through the arms. You're spreading between the fingers and the right foot. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Warrior 3. Reach it through. Be a warrior. And then come out some. Bend that left leg a little bit more. Left hand's going to come down. Lightly touch. It could touch a block. Rotate that right hip open. At first you could look down and forward. Eventually you turn. Right arm lightly vertical. Couple breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Spread it through. The body forms the shape of a half moon. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale and reach through. Complete the half moon. And then come out slowly, but you're going to do crossed over half moon. Bend that left knee a little bit more. Right fingers lightly touch. Back leg parallel to the floor. Strong action through the standing leg. Open. Turn back left a little with your torso. Couple more. Inhale. Exhale, steady. And one more inhale. And exhale, reach it through. You can see with keys that you could challenge yourself by lifting the hand off. And then release. Finishing the half moon and the warrior 3. Come out. Loosen in any way that feels good to you.
Our final sequence on one leg builds upon Warrior 3 into Warrior 4 and 5. As such, I'll have you turn to your right side, and with your right leg leading and your left leg behind you, take your hands behind the back. Lift out your tailbone, lift your head and your chest, and as you do, start to shift into the right leg. Flex your left heel. Stay strong from the left heel all the way through to the crown of the head as you gradually develop into the further flexion of the right hip, gradually deepening to your hamstring's ability to fold forward as you stay on balance, lifting up the left leg, allowing the head to come lower while you still maintain the neutral spine. And when you've gotten to the place where you can balance no longer, release the hands down to the ground and continue towards your inverted warrior with the left leg lifting. Keep the hips evenly square and still neutral through the spine as your head approaches your right shin. And one more breath. As you release from the posture, draw your way back and up. And as you're able, we'll start to switch it to your second side. As you do so, you'll be standing with your left leg forward and the right leg back. With the hands behind your back, draw the tailbone out and back behind you, and lift up through the head and the chest. As you shift your body weight onto the left leg, flex your right heel. With the right knee straight, lift the right heel up. The disarmed warrior, breathing as you're reaching through, staying steady through the left leg as you both lengthen and strengthen through that left hamstring, lifting the right leg up as the torso comes lower. When the hands need to come down to the ground, we allow. And then building upon that, lifting your right leg up higher, keeping the hips evenly squared, and gradually allowing the head to come downward towards that left shin in the inverted splits posture or inverted warrior, Virabhadrasana 5. One more breath. As you release, you can draw your way back and up to standing neutral, so that you might again just shift through the knees, ankles, feet, and toes, making sure all is well before we have a brief seated pranayama practice as Bob will lead us into.
So let's come to seated cross-legged position, or you could kneel if that's easier for you. We'll do a little bit of Ujjayi breathing, just a couple minutes. The Ujjayi breath is the full yoga breath, the complete yoga breathing. On the exhale, the belly pushes back, engaging, the diaphragm lifts up, pushing the air out. There's a sound through the back of the throat. Inhale, fill from the bottom to the top. The belly goes out at first, it's the low lungs fill. Then you continue up, belly flattens, expand the ribs, expand the chest, get a nice length. Now as you exhale, exhale from the bottom without losing length of spine. Belly back, diaphragm's going up, abdominal muscles are active. Inhale, belly goes out at first as the low lungs fill. Then the belly flattens as the ribs expand and the chest expand. Bring the energy up through the neck even. Maintain the length then as you exhale. Ujjayi exhale. You can hear the sound through the back of the throat. The base of the tongue is back. The jaws are relaxed. The eyes are relaxed. A couple more times. Inhale. Low lungs fill. Belly goes out. Middle lungs fill. Belly flattens. Upper lungs filled, belly continues to flatten. Maintain that length of spine. As you exhale slowly from the bottom, Ujjayi, exhale about 8 seconds out. One more time. Inhale, feel from the bottom to the top of the lungs. Towards 8 seconds. Pause a moment, hold it just for 4. And last of these, exhale completely slowly. Don't lose length of spine as you exhale. Namaste.
Namaste.